You had a really inspiring story. You had told me that you had been in real estate for a very long time.
I've been in real estate for 18 years. Okay, I've owned a brokerage, closed one down, reopened another brokerage right now. Most of my business has always been purchasing and sales. However, this year, the well's dried up a bit. A lot of buyers are on the fence. A lot of sellers are also on the fence due to rates or whatnot. So I had to start generating income and I went back to rentals. Found
That's
your
right.
program, and here we are 2 months later.
So how many have you done so far, like close under contract since you signed up?
So since I signed up, I've closed 12,
What's your average commission, give or take?
$1,200 more or less.
You had mentioned that you had gotten some $4,000 rentals,
I
some
have,
$3,000 rentals.
yeah, some 4,000, some 3,000.
With the transaction fee, you're probably going to be averaging about what, 15, 1600 or so?
Yeah, yeah.
If you've done about 12 deals at around $1,500 commission, you probably made about $18,000 in commission since starting Richard Rentals.
Yeah, that's about right. Once they meet me, they see who I am, they understand that I know what I'm doing and that I could help them. They're like stuck to me, right? They see properties, they're calling me. They're like my client, and that's what I've been doing. But over the months, they definitely starts to compound.
You had mentioned that you're getting a lot of referrals already. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, yeah. I rented out to a client. She referred me her brother, which I also rented him a place out. I had rented another property, a condo, to a nice couple up in Hialeah. They referred me to two other of their friends who needed rentals as well, you know.
How much did you make off of that?
Well, I made $900 off of one rental, and then the other one was about a $2,000 rental, so I made another thousand, 1,900 bucks,
Wow.
all
Just
off
just
free Facebook leads.
just from referrals. And you
Yeah.
didn't
Oh,
even
yeah,
have to
from the
like
referrals.
yeah, just from referrals, you literally made $1,900 and you're only like a month or two in, which is just pretty outrageous. Did you think it was gonna work this well?
To be honest, no, because I've kind of done this before, right? Like this is not anything new. People have always been able to market other people's listings. You've always been able to put it on Craigslist and Facebook, but having a system set up to kind of guide you on how to do it and then, believing in it, you're gonna you're gonna reap the benefits of it, right? So like I don't like to pay for leads, you know, the systems on having to work buyers and cold leads off the internet. I think the return is like you get like a 1% return for people for clientele, right? So but here you're meeting with all these people and most of them are going to turn into buyers next year or the year after. And as long as you're maintaining contact with them, right, through some kind of drip campaign or something, or calling them every now and then, they're going to use you. That's just how it works. And I've been in this for 18 years, but I get random calls, throughout the years. Like I just got one 2 months ago. A guy wanted to sell his house, called me up, and that's just how it works.
So you could even imagine, right? Like you're dealing with so many clients now, so many leads are coming in, and you just can see the potential in the future where out of nowhere, I'm sure like a year down the road, you're going to start getting buyer, seller, buyer, referral from this and that, and they're going to be
Right.
purchases.
Yeah.
You had been doing rentals, a couple here and there. So what was your biggest problem?
Because I was able to focus my energy on just this one thing, right? Like I wasn't worried about trying to look for buyers. And I do have a couple buyers right now, like for multifamily and stuff, but I'm not even really focusing on it because I want to build the foundation, right? Where I have this steady flow of leads coming in all the time, making a decent amount of money right now. And then in the future, there's just guaranteed that there's going to be more business coming from it. And you don't have to like, buy a bunch of leads off the internet and do all this crazy stuff that really most people don't have any success in.
I know you had mentioned you were getting overwhelmed too at the amount of leads that were coming in, right? So can you
Some
talk
of
about that a
these,
little bit?
yeah, so when you're putting in these leads into Facebook, some of them are gonna give you like 300 leads, right? It gets crazy. Like one day you're doing nothing, the next day you have all these people hitting you up. You have to get back to them in a timely manner, right?
But would you say that's kind of like a good problem to have compared to, a couple months ago when like
Oh yeah,
nothing was
yeah, yeah.
happening?
No, I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. But
Yeah,
yeah, I
no.
mean, it's work, but it's good work, and you're meeting with people, you're negotiating deals, you're helping them, right? Because some of these people have no idea.
You're basically on track this year to make at least six figures, like minimum 100 grand, right?
Yeah, if I continue, for sure. especially with my sales, like just trickle in, like if I can make five, six, $10,000 a month in rentals alone, then you have another sale, which is another, 9,000, 10,000, 20,000, depending on the price point, whatever. Those are good months.
Now, do you remember I used to do 250 deals a year by myself, to
Yeah.
be real with
I
you.
mean, I have two kids, a wife. I could separate myself for a long time, but even so, I mean, that's incredible. 250 deals in a year. That's nuts.
Yeah,
To be
so
able to
that's
deal with all those walkthroughs. I just did six in 1 week.
so it's super simple, super easy for you. And then I'm sure like these families that you're helping, like what are their
Oh
reactions?
yeah, they're grateful. They know that what I've done for them, especially the problematic ones, whenever you're dealing with associations and you have somebody that has to move in at a certain time because their landlord is kicking them out or they're coming to an end, they don't want to overstay their time trying to help these people out, and they're grateful at the end, for sure.
Have you basically seen where you can turn a renter into a buyer?
I have, maybe two or three buyers that should be buying towards the end of the year, the beginning of next year. When you're asking for that paperwork, right, and they send you over their credit and it's a 750 plus, and they send you proof of income, they have another 30, $40,000 in the bank. That's a perfect opportunity to just say, hey, have you guys ever thought about buying something? You have great credit, you have more than enough money, we could get you some incentives, stuff like that. That would work amazingly because you're seeing all their financials. The second that the mortgages are less than what the rent is, I should be able to convert everybody, right? Anybody who's renting and could afford to buy something and the mortgage is going to be less than what the current rent is going for, I would imagine that they'd say yes in a heartbeat, especially if we could get them incentives for closing. Maybe they don't have enough capital on hand, whatever the case may be. I think, yeah, I mean, I would say 100 out of 100, right?
Wow. So imagine that, right? You do 200 deals in the next 2 years. It switches over to a buyer's market, and all of a sudden now you have 200 buyers. Dude, do the math on that. That's $2 million that you're going to make just off the renters that you turn into buyers. And in the meantime, off those 200 renters, you're going to make at least $300,000 just from those rentals.
Yeah, easily.
Minimum. If you could have went back to the beginning of this year, would you have started this sooner?
Oh yeah, I would have started this when I first opened up my brokerage in 2016, 2017, right? Because I actually did. I said, you know what? I'm going to start up the brokerage and I'm going to hire brand new agents and I'm going to teach them how to do rentals, right? So they could learn, they could create a foundation, blah, blah, blah. And I tried, but without a system in place or without doing it myself first, really, how can I really teach somebody else how to do it systematically and, successfully? So that, I mean, I wish I would have had it back then, to be honest. One bedroom for $2,000, you're going to make $900, and it's not that hard. You're dealing with one person, maybe two,
It's
you
very
know?
simple. And what do
Yeah.
you think? You're doing what, like a handful of showings, one, two, three showings per person?
Some I've done on like the first showing, they're like, all right, I want this one. Maybe I show them
Yeah.
two,
Done?
maybe, done. That's it. Maybe I spend a couple. I
Wow.
mean, I've done one in 3 days, right? They had 3 months to put down. I found them a spot in a certain place, and within 3 days, we had everything done, moved in, rent collected, deposit collected, everything done.
And this guy had bad credit too.
I don't think it was that good. No evictions, no car
Yeah.
repossessions, but
But the
yeah,
background, the credit, not great. But you still,
background and credit not great. Yeah.
was everything that I taught you, you still managed to make it work and got him into a place within a couple days and literally got paid at least what? You probably made what, 1,200 bucks on that?
Yeah, it was a $2,100 rental. I think
Yeah,
the
dude.
key is understanding to get all their stuff, all their information put into this nice formal email. It has a crazy impact on other agents. All right, look, this is the credit, this is the background, here are their bank accounts, this is where they live, this is what they've done, this is who they are, here's a photo ID. Then they start spinning their wheels and they thank me. They're like, "Oh my God, Jose, thank you for putting this in a perfect email," because all they're doing is forwarding it to their landlord. And
So
that's it.
you really like that strategy that I showed you about collecting the application and the credit, the background, the eviction report, the proof of
I
income,
do.
driver's license, writing
I
up a
do.
quick little contract, at least like I preach it all the time. It saves so much
So
time.
much time.
And
Yeah.
the other agents, they're gonna want to work with you again. And
Yeah.
I'm telling you
Yeah.
this, if they have a listing and let's say they get like five offers from other agents, but you had just, presented this perfect package, you worked with them last year or whatever, they will take your offer over another agent's offer every
Yeah.
time.
100%. Especially because most of the other ones come in half-assed, right? You have credit and background, but no application, no income, no IDs, and then you got to ask for it, and you got to wait to get it. People get frustrated.
So do you think just even like learning how to even do this properly and correctly, this is
Yes.
actually getting you more offers even accepted?
Well, it's proof, right? I've done this before. I've been doing this for a very long time now, and I've tried to, jump into the rental space and just do high volume rentals and stuff. But again, like, without the right course, right? Without the right training, it's not going to happen.
Oh, dude, I couldn't be any prouder. This is why, I started this whole program. I literally just wanted to teach any agent. Like, I don't care if you're new. I don't care if you're like you, but doing this for 20 years. I
Yeah.
understood and recognized that it's a bad market right now if you're a buyer and seller agent. And all the brokerages, all the team leaders, all the mentors, they always say, don't focus on rentals at all. And you might not have even jumped back into it because you had some, not the best
Yeah.
experiences,
Yeah.
back in the day. You didn't have the best experiences. You didn't realize how easy it could actually be and how profitable it could be.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh
Especially
man.
as a new agent, when you come in, it's really hard to get somebody to trust you to buy a house or sell theirs, right? It's like, well, how long you been doing this? How old are you again? Right? I mean, I started when I was 24, so imagine, just a kid.
Ooh, yeah, I say this all the time too. Like even me, like if I wasn't an agent and I was going to buy a house and some 23-year-old comes up to me and's like, hey, do you want to buy a house? We get to talking. How many houses have you sold? Zero.
Yeah,
How long have you been doing this for? A month.
yeah.
I'm
Well, they
about
end up
to
teaching you, My clients would teach me in the beginning, like I would be
because
like,
they
"What do you mean about title? What are you
yeah.
talking about?"
Dude, it's so scary for a new agent because who is going to trust them with the biggest purchasing decision of their life?
They're
That's
family and
why
friends,
family and friends. Yeah,
That's it in the
that's
beginning.
it. That's it. And you cannot sustain an entire business off of just family and friends right away.
No,
And a
no.
lot of agents learn that the hard way. That's
Yeah,
why we have a 90% failure rate in real estate, and it takes 9 months on
yeah. It's
average
that
for an
bad, huh?
agent. Dude, it's that
Holy
bad.
cow.
It's literally that. Those are according to the I think it's the NAR statistics.
Yeah, yeah, I know it's pretty low, but
It's bad.
yeah,
I'm telling you, man, agents are literally doing this the wrong way. Brokerages, they're teaching the wrong way. Because I know we had talked before, like you have your own brokerage. You're going to
yeah,
start pushing rentals now for agents.
yeah, and mentor them, right? You got to show them, you got to grab them by the hand. This is how you talk to them. This is what you do. This is how you do it. But once they understand the foundation and where it all starts, they're gonna, this is perfect.
And now you have a system to actually teach them
Correct. And experience, right?
and experience now because you've done it.
Yeah,
For it's
yeah,
been at
yeah,
least a month or two now. You've done it. You've closed
right.
12 deals. You've made almost 20 grand in commission. You're getting referrals left and right. You're going to start getting buyers left and right. Like it actually worked for you very quickly.
Yeah, pretty quick for sure. Within the first month, I was already closing the deal.
It's
Yeah.
literally a gold mine. I
You
don't
could find them a
understand.
place tomorrow, and that's it. You're moving them right on in
Yeah.
that same
And
week or within the same day, and you're getting paid.
the sales dry up, and it's happening for most agents. They're
Yeah,
not making nearly as much as they were back in 21, 22, 20. Like they're not making that anymore. And it's
yeah.
just a matter of time because I don't think it's getting any better for the buyer or seller market anytime soon. I think it's going to take at least 2 or 3 years to rebound. That's what I personally think.
It's still even unattainable, right? It's, what a average home, at least where I live, 600,000.
Oof,
I mean, if you're
yeesh.
making only $100,000 a year between, a
No way.
couple, that you're not going to afford that. You're going to have to buy a townhouse.
And the interest rates, I mean, we're at 6.8% today. Like you
Yeah, yeah,
tack that on to the prices that are what 40-50% overinflated right now. It's
yeah,
impossible. They can't do
yeah,
it, that you're forced to rent because you could always buy later,
yeah. Right now it's
eventually
better. Right now it's better to
it's
rent,
better.
right? It's
It's
cheaper.
it's cheaper.
Cheaper
It's
to rent.
cheaper. And that's okay because the market ebbs and flows. Like it
Yeah,
goes up, it goes down, it's gonna come back down again. Your rent now, bide your time. But for real estate agents, for the next couple of years at least, even though rentals work forever, like it doesn't matter the market.
yeah, for sure.
It's like a prime rental market right now. Like I think you would be insane if you weren't working with renters as a real estate agent right now. Would you agree?
Agreed, for sure. Even
Dude.
right now or ever, you should always be working with renters, especially if you're starting out. It's a great way to build your foundation. Have leads coming in without you having to go spend $1,000 on Zillow or really 1,000. I don't even think you could spend 1,000 anymore. I think it's like two
Or Zillow
minimum or
Premier.
something. Yeah. I don't know. I know it's nuts. I'm not. I did it
How
for a couple times, but
it
doesn't
didn't
work.
work out for you, Zillow Premier?
No, I paid. I mean, this was years ago. I was paying, I don't know, $1,000, $1,500 a month for leads. It would give me like 30 leads a month. But again, then you're dealing with cold buyer leads. You need to have systems in place. You need to have the CRM. You need to be keeping in contact with them because they're not
And
going to
it
buy right then and there.
and it needs to be a market for them to want to buy,
Right,
which we're
right.
not in.
Well,
Like
right now it's definitely a no. But I'm saying years ago when I would spend that kind of money, it was a market to buy. But even then, it's still one of those things where the return just wasn't. It's difficult. It's
that's
not
when,
easy.
years ago, that's when I did the prime of my business. I closed about 500 deals in my first 3 years from 2020 to
Yeah, that's crazy.
2023. 500 deals in that time when it was actually a fine time to buy and sell a house.
Hmm.
I still did it then. And I'll
Yeah,
tell you right now, it's way easier today. Literally, I wish it was this easy back then. I would have done 1,000 deals in 3 years because of how easy it is to work with renters right now. Like it
yeah,
blows my mind right now why every single realtor is not doing rentals. Like I don't understand.
yeah. No, I agree. They definitely should be hopping on and learning.
I
Unless
think
maybe
so.
they don't need the money. Maybe they don't need the
Yeah.
money. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. If you're already making 250 grand a year, I guess,
Yeah,
stick
you
to
don't have
what
to
you're
do
doing.
rentals. You're good.
Any advice for a new or an experienced agent like you, been in here, doing real estate for 18 years? Any advice in this market right now?
Yeah, sure. So if you're new or old, don't assume anything, right? Don't assume that some renter that's $2,000 doesn't have a house that he's trying to sell or something. Like there's people with deals out there to be had. I've had a lot of conversations with people. Um, I don't like to spend money on leads. I think it's a waste to a certain extent, right? So this is a great way to have people referring you business over and over again, and you're going to make some money out of it, right? Because how many leads have you spent? You'll spend $1,000, $3,000, $5,000. All these leads come in, you do nothing with them, they go away, and they're gone. Or you could just work with renters, make money off of them, right? And then keep them in your database, and you have them as future deals. It's kind of a no-brainer.
And it's free. I
And it's
mean,
free.
yeah, it's
I
free.
haven't spent any money on
Free.
Facebook ads or anything
Yeah.
like that. I'm only posting on Facebook
Yeah.
Marketplace. I haven't even done your apartment strategy, which probably could bring me a lot more leads.
Dude, I
Um,
couldn't be any prouder. I mean, that was phenomenal advice too. I mean, who doesn't like free leads? I literally taught you how to generate thousands of free leads per month.
yeah,
Like, and I know you have a wife. I know you have two kids and everything. So I know you're busy. And for you to still do these kind of numbers, already closed 12 deals, made 18,000 in commission, tons of referrals coming in. You got buyers in the pipeline now. Like it
yeah,
worked.
yeah.